Hello everyone, welcome to this special session on how to shine in the upcoming IBPS PO mains exam. Now you would ask that, sir, we are just done with our prelims and the results are still not there, and you are talking about IBPS PO mains exam. Now my dear friends, if you have to get cracking in IBPS PO mains exam, this is the time from where you should be starting to think seriously about the mains exam. And I'm sure that most of you are already thinking about it, and those of you who are not thinking about it, buck up and start thinking about it. So for those of you who have been thinking about it, some of you have reached out to us and had put some queries which we would address today. So the list of those queries, or I would say burning questions in your mind, let us list them first. Those things that we will address today. First, what will be the prelims cutoff? Should we, prepare for mains? Would we be clearing? Because once we know that we would be clearing the prelims cutoff, then only it makes sense to prepare for mains. That is the logic that many students are going by. Then secondly, if we are preparing, how do we take the mains mocks? What would be the difference between the mains and the prelims mocks? Then how do we prepare for mains subject wise, section wise, right? And finally, how to do mains level practice. Mains level questions, how do we practice that? Where do we practice them from? Right? So these are the burning questions in your mind at this point. So let's address them one by one. First, prelims cutoff. My dear friends, this is one of the most discussed points, especially once the prelims get over. Almost for a week or so, students are just searching on YouTube and Google what will be the cutoff of this year's exam. That's what students do, right? So what is our take on that? What is Merit Shine's take on that? You guys know what our take is on that, how we have been telling you again and again that please don't try to predict the cutoff, and also don't look at the analysis of papers again and again by different people that comes on YouTube or Google and try to gauge the cutoff, because it is impossible. You must have seen it happening again and again, that people would come out with a cutoff, and then after 2 weeks when the results come, they would try to force fit their cutoff with that cutoff, but you end up thinking, are the cutoffs that they said at that point of time and what has come in my slot is much different. And you would find out that from the perspective of the scores that you had thought you would get and the scores that you get after normalization is also much different, right? So this is the reason why you should not try to predict cutoff. Why? Because the paper happens in multiple slots. There is normalization. So your ultimate score can get a positive push, can get a negative push, depending upon the nature of the paper in your slot. So trying to predict a generalized cutoff is of no use, is a futile exercise, is a time wasting exercise. So please, my dear friend, don't waste your time in that, right? I had given you 2 days time to do all of these, and I am sure that you have done that. Please do not waste any further time on that. So what should we do? It's a no-brainer. You should not wait for results. You should assume that you have qualified for mains and start preparing. And as I told you, the normalization will happen. So who knows, what you are thinking to be a paper that has not gone well might end up being a good paper, and you end up giving you a call for mains. Right, you might be thinking, yeah, I haven't been able to attempt March 65, 70, I will not get any call. And you see when the results come that your scores have been normalized in upward movement and you get a call. So at that point of time, you should not repent that you haven't prepared for mains. Okay, clear, right? So don't wait for the results. Now, For normalization, if you want to know more about it, if you want to know the the process in which it happens, we had done a normalization video earlier, showing you how it is futile to run for cutoffs, right. I would give the link of that video in the description. You can go through that too, right. Next question is taking mocks. Now that you are done with the prelims, how you should take the mocks of the mains, right. See, there is an intrinsic difference between the prelim mocks and the mains mock. The prelims mocks are shorter, whereas mains mocks are longer, right. So it's a longer time duration investment. So how should you prepare your mindset for mocks? How many mocks you should take? What you should do after the mocks? So first of all, you see, for different people this would be different, especially for the first 2 weeks. You see, if you are done with your concepts, you are done with all the conceptual framework of all the areas, then you should target 3 to 4 mocks a week, right. For example, let's say if you are preparing with us and you are done with all the lectures, then you should target 3 to 4 mocks a week. Similarly, if you are preparing by yourself and you are done with all the concepts, had been done with all the concepts before the prelims only, and only practice is remaining, then you should look at 3 to 4 mocks every week. If you are not done with your concepts, then 1 to 2 mocks for the next 2 weeks, and then increase it to that 3 to 4 weeks wala frequency. So what to do apart from mocks, we will come to that. But if you are not done with your concepts, then 1 to 2 mocks at the max every week. And my dear friends, please understand, taking mocks is of no use if you do not analyze the mocks well, right. So analyzing the mocks is as important as taking the mocks, maybe more important. So how do you analyze the mocks? How do you approach analyzing the mocks? What do you learn from analyzing the mocks? How do you prepare a strategy for taking the next mock based on the analysis of this mock? All of these have been discussed in detail in a mock analysis playlist of ours. I'll give the link to that playlist, and you can go through them and understand, okay, what you need to do and how you need to do that. Okay, so do that. So mock without analysis makes no sense. Mock with analysis makes a lot of sense. If you are done with the concepts, 3 to 4 mocks. If you are not done with the concepts, for the first 2 weeks, 1 to 2 mocks, and then you can increase your frequency, right. The third question that was there, burning question, was section wise preparation. How do we prepare now section wise? Now first we would address those 2 areas which are being added new, that is GA and descriptive. Okay. See, GA would depend how much time you should give based on what model of preparation you took up for general awareness at the start of your preparation. Now if you had prepared with us, we had guided on GA with a video that what kind of preparation you should take on YouTube only, right. I would give the link to that video. You go to that video, there we have discussed how you could have started for GA preparation. So there were 3 ways in which a student could have decided to prepare for GA. One was a quick preparation, one was a regular preparation, one was a marathoner preparation, right. So quick preparation are those guys who would be starting with GA now, and for those who what are the sources, how do they prepare, how much time should they give, that has been discussed in that particular video. And if you are a regular and a marathon, you already know how you are doing it, and you would have an idea of what is the process of GA preparation. Okay. Descriptive. Now please understand, everything said and done, descriptive is a practice oriented element of your exam. The better you are practiced in writing, the better you would score in the exam. So it is advisable that you at least write every alternate day, at least, right, preferably every day. 20 to 30 minutes every day on 1 writing or 2 writing assignment is the preferable thing to do, but at least alternate day though compulsory. Okay. Again, how to write, how to create content, what to how to think on various issues, varied issues. All of these have been discussed in detail in our descriptive playlist. I'll share that link with you. go through that. We see, if you have been a regular follower of Merit Shine, you know that we over a period of time, we have done so many beautiful things on our channel, and each one of them, even if they are 2 years old videos, 3 years old videos, they are as much relevant today as it was when we posted them, because we think it that way only, that how to give to you videos which would be lectures which would be relevant to you for your whole preparation phase, right? So use them in a way so that you get the best benefits out of them, right? Okay, now coming to those areas which you are already preparing for prelims: quant, English and reasoning. You see, in these 3 areas, what will be the way in which you would be approaching the preparation? Now this here also the difference would be how much of these areas you have done. Let's say your concepts are done, you're done with all the concepts. That's like I told you in the mock wala slide, that if you're done with the concepts, you should take 3 to 4 mocks every week. If you are done with the concepts of quant and English and reasoning, then what you are supposed to do is you are just supposed to revise weak areas from your notes and lectures. Now, how would you identify the weak areas? You will identify the weak areas from your mock analysis, from the sectional test that you take in your mock test series, right? From these areas, you will identify that these are the types of questions where I am facing a little bit of problem. So let's go back to those lectures of sirs that he has delivered and clear the concepts, or go back to the notes that I have made while going through the lectures and revise them, right? This is what you would do. This is how you would plan your day. Next, if more than 50% of concepts are done, but some significant part is remaining, 30% and above is remaining, right? Then what you should target is that complete the concepts as much as you can. I mean, you'll be able to do most of them in the next 2 weeks. Concepts and practice based on those concepts, right? So let's say, for example, you are left with around another 30% of the concepts. So on each one of these concepts, there will be 1 or 2 lectures. Go through them and then practice the exercises based on those lectures, right? So this would take around next 15 days, and in this period you should be taking not more than 2 mocks every week, mock and analysis, but not more than 2 mocks, because you need to complete the course of yours, right? So that is for those whose more than 50% concepts are done, and after 2 weeks you follow the same pattern of the mock that we have suggested for the type 1 guys, right? People in position number 3, less than 50% of concepts done, I mean 30% of the concepts done. So a lot is remaining at this point, and you are targeting IBPS PO mains, right? So for them, what is the target is that avoid mocks for the next 2 weeks altogether. Don't take any mocks. Go and from morning till evening, start clearing your concepts from different areas, from all the 3 areas, right? So your target should be that in the next 2 weeks, you should be done with all the concepts, if not all the concepts, but majority of the concepts. So even if you are done with 70-80% of the concepts, that's an achievement, because then you would move on to that type 1 wale mock, because then after that you'll have to take 3 to 4 mocks every week. Every student has to take 3 to 4 mocks after 2 to 3 weeks from now, right? Because then only you would be practiced enough to do good in the exam, right? Okay, so that was how you should prepare depending upon your stage. Okay, now final mains level practice. Where do we practice questions from with respect to mains level practice questions? See, the best place is mock tests and sectional tests of your test series. Whichever test series you have taken, 1 or 2 test series that you have taken, practice questions from there. Even those questions from those mocks whose exams you will not be taking, pick up questions of mains from there, right? For example, let's say you have taken in a package and you have insurance questions, and insurance mains you would not be taking. So do those mocks also, practice questions from there also, right? That would help you in mains level practice. and obviously the questions that we have done on our YouTube channel on mains level questions, the questions that we would do in the upcoming weeks. Also, if you are preparing with us, the questions that we have already done in the course on mains level practice, all of them you should go through, right? So those were the answers to your burning questions. Now, before we end today, one or two things that you some of you have put up, but are not burning questions but needs to be addressed. First is how to prepare IBPS PO mains and SBI PO pre together. Now, my dear friends, see one thing. If you are prepared for IBPS PO pre and you would be preparing for IBPS PO mains, your SBI PO pre preparation has already happened. Just a set of mocks before SBI PO pre would be more than enough, right? But then at this point, if you are targeting your starting preparation and then trying to cover IBPS PO mains and SBI PO pre, then you might have to juggle between the two. There, what we would suggest is that start from the basics, because basics cannot be ignored. So what I would suggest is, I had delivered a lecture a couple of weeks back to how to manage the preparation of the both. Go through that. It is as much relevant today as it was 2 weeks back, right? That would give you an idea how to prepare for both of these exams together. Second, what if I don't get selected? As I told you at the starting of the lecture also, that if you don't get selected, this knowledge would not get wasted, right? And it would help you in your upcoming exams, in other exams, in your life for that matter. So don't worry about those stuff. Just assume that you are going to get selected and prepare for it. Okay, right? For those students who want to prepare with us, some of you had asked that, sir, if I want to go for IBPS PO mains, I want to prepare for IBPS PO mains and I want to take those lectures, go through those lectures which you have, where you have practiced those kinds of questions and also the concepts. So should we take the crash batch? Now, my dear friends, for those who are targeting IBPS PO mains specifically, crash batch is not the batch, because crash batch would be directed towards SBI PO, right? So we will orient our course coverage according to the SBI PO dates, not according to the IBPS PO mains date. So for them, the batch 3 would be the batch that they should go for if you are targeting IBPS PO mains. And obviously you would get validity till SBI PO. So afterwards, after your IBPS PO mains are over, then also you would be having that particular course, and you can take benefit of that course for your SBI PO exam also. But the crash course would be specifically for the SBI PO exam. Okay, right? Okay. So that would be all for today. Hope this lecture helps you to plan your upcoming days and weeks. On that note, we will end today. Thank you very much and all the best.